Before I go into my Vandana, my Katha for this morning, let us sing the praises of Ganesh Baba. We combine our voices and we sing and we pray and we ask connect to Baba. Known as Prathama Puj, the first to be worshipped always. Sukha Harita, Dukha Harita. You remove any unhappiness and you bring in happiness into my life, O Lord. As I sing the praises to you, only you truly know what's going on in my life. May you bring happiness always. We sing together. Jai Ganiraya, Shri Ganiraya, Jai Ganiraya, Shri Ganiraya, Mangal Murti Moriya, Jai Ganiraya, Shri Ganiraya, Mangal Murti Moriya, Jai Ganiraya, Shri Ganiraya, Jai Ganiraya, Mangal Murti Moriya, Jai Ganiraya, Shri Ganiraya, Mangal Murti Moriya. As we celebrated last Friday, known as Shri Krishna Janmashtami, we sing the praises of Radha Krishna together. Ja Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha reciting Madhur Akshakam, a compilation describing the sweetness of Shri Krishna. Over the last weekend, I would say, because everyone is doing yajnas and satsangs and 3 nights and 5 nights leading up to Janamashtami, you would have heard the pastimes, you would have heard the leelas, but more importantly, you would have heard how sweet Shri Krishna is. So as we recite together simple words towards the end chorus, the meaning says, O Krishna, your lips are sweet and charming. Your face is sweet and charming. Your eyes are sweet and charming. Even the way you laugh, O Prabhu, is sweet and charming. The way you walk, the way you feel for your devotees, everything about you, O Lord, is sweet. For you are known as the Lord of sweetness. Adharam madhuram, vadaram madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hasyatam madhuram, hridayam madhuram, gamana madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, vachanam madhuram, karitam madhuram, vasanam madhuram, bhalitam madhuram, kalitam madhuram, brahmitam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, venu madhuro, renu madhura, pani madhura, palo madhuro, nityam madhuram, sakyam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, geetam madhuram, geetam madhuram, bhutam madhuram, suktam madhuram, rupam madhuram, tilakam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, karinam madhuram, tarinam madhuram, harinam madhuram, ramanam madhuram, vamitam madhuram, shamitam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram. Ja madhura, mala madhura, yamuna madhura, vichi madhura, salitam madhuram, kamalam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, gopi madhura, leela madhura, yuktam madhuram, muktam madhuram, drishtam madhuram, shishyatam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, opa madhura, kamo madhura, yastir madhura, srishtir madhura, dalitam madhuram, palitam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari parte, akilam madhuram, madhurari Vrindavan Mihalal ki jai. So in my introduction to you, my devotees, before we join in Vandana, Katha and the root pravachan of this morning, I must first say it's an honor and privilege once more to be able to join with you all in prayer and devotion to the lotus-like feet of Bhagavan. I must first pay my respects to Pandit Gan, to Pandit Radha Krishna Sharma, whose efforts and love has always been creating a haven for the propagation of Dharma. His hard work and determination for an institution for devotees like you all to come and join in bhakti and love exist always. Through the means of his family and his chelas and devotees like you come together to keep these doors open is forever commendable. To his Dharmapatni Ma, who graciously allows me and other Pandits to sit on this asan to perform our seva, and more importantly, I must say, she always reminds me it's more about duty than anything else. Thank you. To the members of this mandir, always keeping up the good work. I feel so touched whenever Uncle Tony would send flyers or messages of continuous dates, because it shows continuation that the temple doors are being opened and kept open. You know, running a temple or mandir is not an easy task at all. The definition I would say in itself is a word called selflessness. Selflessness, not selfishness, because that can never run a mandir. Being selfless in your efforts, always. And you see this hand of ours? It's very hard to make a song with just 2 fingers. But when you put them together, we're able to clap. Teamwork, determination, coming togetherness is what this mandir is. To Pandit Rick for coming this morning, thank you for doing our puja. And thank you to all the devotees. We've had a long set of days, at least I have. I just flew in, not to boast or anything. Came back from Trinidad, the sunny land, paradise on earth, where I was able to spend with Guruji, Pandit Bimal and Komoto. We were able to do Janamashtami night, we went Malik, we went all over. And it's quite an experience, and it's amazing again that we're continuing devotion to God. It's always an uplifting feeling. I'm sure you all would have went to your respective temples, if not here. I know here had Janamashtami celebrations. But you would have went and you would have broke the night at 12, ushering the birth of Shri Krishna. And this celebration isn't just in Trinidad, or Guyana, or Suriname, or Queens. Krishna Janamashtami is celebrated around the world. Around the world, ushering his birth, the coming of Shri Krishna. And we've heard kathas all night, that night, in regards to the rocking of the Palana, in regards to Nanda Baba, in regards to singing all the praises of the coming of Kans, whatnot. But this morning I just want to speak about Katha that is not really spoken of much. I want to speak about Katha that talks about the meaning of Radha and Krishna. Coincidentally, this temple is named Radha Krishna. So it's always fitting. I like to make pieces of puzzles fit. What is the essence and the meaning of Radha Krishna? Sometimes she's foreground, unfortunately sometimes our Devis, and Devis are the most important of any Devatas here. But sometimes they're not really popularized. We have Ram, but we not so much have Sita. We have Shiva, but we don't have much of Parvati. We have Krishna, but Radha is just also tapped in the name. No. Their leela extends beyond that. Their leela extends so vividly and beautifully, and we'll hear this morning of the importance and beauty of Radha and Krishna. Before we do, we close our eyes, we clasp our hands, we bow our head. We join together in Vandana, the repetition of various mantras, to attune our mind, our body, our spirit, into praying and praising Bhagwan. If you have earnings, please cover your head, and if you don't, please bow. And we ask, O Lord, in our humble attempt, give us your mercy. Daya karo, raksha karo, kripa karo, Lord. Only you can protect, only you can bless, and only you can have mercy. As I put my hands together, Lord, may you bless me in abundance. Om Hari Om Hari
See
नीलाम्बुजश्यामलोकमलाङ्गं सीतास्य मारुतत्वामवाङ्गं पानो महाशार्कचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। ॐ मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। ॐ श्री बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्रमृते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते नमोस्तुते नमोस्तुते। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय वष्णाङ्गरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगम्बराय तस्मै नकाराय नमः शिवाय। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। ॐ नमः शिवाय। भोलेनाथ श्री शंकर भगवान की जय। If you haven't already, we get our handouts. We join together in the Hanuman Chalisa as we do every Sunday morning. We sing together. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Nij Man Mukur Sudai Varno Raghuvar Vimal Jisho Jo Dhyayak Palchari Buddhahin Tanu Janike सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी हनुमान की। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी हनुमान की। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बदन विराज सुरेसा कानन कुंडल कुंजित केसा। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो जी हनुमान सौ स्वरूप सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, उड़ेसा जगन्नाथ की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। प्यारी भक्तों, my dear brothers and sisters, today we are gathering, as I said in my introduction, to not only just remember the birth of Shri Krishna, but I want to walk with you into the garden of his leela, into Vrindavan, where love in itself takes form in the name of Radha. My interpretation comes from the Bhagavad Puran, from the Brahma Veda Puran, and just as all your temples would have been, I hope, where there would have been diyas, where there would have been children dressed as little gopals, amazing that is, lack of a better term, amazing. Little baby Krishnas running around. You would dress them up. You will rejoice and you will say, "Oh Krishna, just as my little boy is, may he have your qualities." When we have Navaratri and we have all the 9 girls, we say, not only are we worshipping them as devis, but we are asking Ma, may the qualities be in them. You would have heard the strong blow. You would have done all the rejoicedness and rejoicing of Janamashtami. But I want to remind you that Janamashtami night isn't the end of Shri Krishna's story, for it is just the beginning of his leela. I want us to walk together this morning, obviously not with our physical feet, but with our minds. I want you all to visualize with me. Close your eyes and picture it. I want you to feel Bhagwan's leela. We are going to take a trip down the dusk-covered streets of Gokul. The sun has risen that morning. The Yamuna is flowing like a blue ribbon. Swans are gliding across. The air is smelling of fresh cow's milk. Peacocks have spread their feathers in the mangroves. The kadamba trees are swaying softly. And in one part of Braj, Gokul, a baby boy by the name of Krishna, is crawling around Nanda Baba's yard. You hear a chutney song, Nanda Baba, I won't sing it. Shri Krishna is crawling. He's playing. And in another part, in Barsana, is a baby girl by the name of Radha in a small cradle made of neem wood, peacefully asleep. But Radha's eyes are closed. She hasn't awakened yet. She's in a state of slumber, in a state of bliss. Just there, peaceful. Vishwabhanu, the father of Radha, look at her with immense love, but they are quite worried after some time. Days have passed, her eyes have never opened. So too if you see a baby, and you're poking and you're playing and you're asking and your baby talking, say, "Baby, open your eyes, baby, open your eyes." Vishwabhanu and her mother is doing the same. They're saying, "Radha, open your eyes now, see the world." But Radha's eyes are closed. They are asking, they say, "Why haven't she opened her eyes yet?" Days have turned into weeks, weeks have turned into months. And now all the villages are starting to wonder the same. Vishwabhanu would say softly, he says, "Perhaps my daughter will open her eyes when there's something worth seeing." But the village starts to whisper. Some villages are starting to say it's an illness. They are saying that she will never open her eyes. They are saying that we have no faith that that's it. Radha will never open her eyes again. That if she doesn't open it now, she never will. And and please don't be like this, my devotees. Don't be like these ill-minded individuals. When they have nothing to say, when they say empty barrels make the most noise. These villages are that, Radha, no use. Just imagine you're seeing a beautiful baby girl and they're rejecting her like, she's not opening her eyes. That's it. And I'm reminding you this morning, my dear friends, don't be like these villagers. There's nothing nice to say. Don't say anything at all. These villagers are going around talking. Her parents are being worried. They're frightened at this point. And when, just as the parents are, when you are faced in a predicament, or you're faced in a situation, or you're faced in a dilemma where you don't know what to do further, what do you do? Who do you turn to? Vishramanu started to pray. He started to pray and he started to ask Bhagwan, I want to understand why my baby girl isn't opening her eyes. Praying with a clean mind and a pure heart. And this is what it says, not me saying it, not any other one. With a clean mind and a pure heart, Vishramanu was praying and asking Bhagwan, give me the answer. Why is my Radha not opening her eyes? And Bhagwan doesn't always just bless you in certain circumstances. He also removes you from negative ones. He takes you away from circumstances that may bring you down, that may bring dejection. So while praying to Bhagwan, Vishramanu and Radha is in their home. They decided to stay away from all the villages. They decided to stay to themselves and just pray with a clean mind and pure devotion. And here they are praying that she opens her eyes soon and we will hear what she sees. This is the importance, my friends, of continuous effort in prayer. When you pray with a clean mind and devotion, you can truly achieve what you ask for, And just as Radha would not open her eyes, she would not open her eyes until she sees what she truly wants to see. Sometimes us as devotees, our eyes are metaphorically closed, And only when we speak to Bhagwan, then our eyes can truly be open. So while Vishramanu is feeling dejected, he's praying on his own, but sometimes we all too need a little push. And how do we get that little push? We come to wonder. We come to a place of worship. The place, because my energy at home alone is good, When I pray, I foster my own energy. When Uncle Tony prays, he fosters his own energy. When Chris prays, he fosters his own energy. But when we all come together and we pray, how much energy are we fostering? How much is it multiplied by? 50? Social media watching? 100? We are fostering an environment of energies. But Vishramanu doesn't know what to do anymore. At home he's praying, so he says, you know what? Let me ask for a bit of guidance. And that's what the pundits are there for. That's what the sages are there for. Vishramanu decides, he says, I'm going to go to a saint and I'm going to ask him why it is my Radha is not opening her eyes. And the saints told him, they say Radha will only open her eyes when she has seen the one that she loved before the world was ever made. Isn't that a bit puzzling? Vishramanu said, what does that even mean, saint? You are telling me in Lakshmana, colloquially speaking. I'm coming to you for advice to ask why does my Radha not opening her eyes, and you tell me that she's going to open when she's seen the one she's loved before the world was ever created. But isn't that the essence of true love in itself? Isn't that the essence of love, my devotees? That we will only open our eyes to the ones that you truly love. And let's put that into perspective. Let's put that into logic. Do we open our eyes to Bhagwan? Do we open our eyes not just physically but internally to let Bhagwan into our lives? Are you able to open your eyes to let Bhagwan in? Food for thought. Love wholly and let Bhagwan in. Radha's closed eyes teaches us that not everything in life you would get instant gratification. It takes time, Good things take time. Don't ever feel by any societal clock or any rush that you are put into a circumstance or a situation. Radha needed to open her eyes when she was ready. Still her eyes are closed, but she was given the guidance by the spiritual saints that when she finds that one she loves, her eyes will finally open. I know another meaningfulness, while speaking, thoughts come in the head. Another moral I would say of it is that sometimes it's important to keep your eyes closed to negativity. Just as Radha kept her eyes closed to the villagers, keep your eyes closed to negativity. When there's anger, when there's hate, when there's bad mind, when there's jealousy, don't open your eyes for that. Open your eyes when you are going to love Bhagavan. So one bright morning, Nanda Baba decided that he wanted to visit Barsana with little Krishna. The two fathers, Nanda and Vishravanu, they were friends. So he dresses up Shri Krishna in a beautiful yellow dhoti. He fixes up his curly hair. He puts a peacock feather in. He makes a small little waistband with bells and anklets. And he says, let's go. We are going to Barsana and we are going to visit Vishravanu. His mother, Yashoda Mata, applies black kajal to behind his ears. No bad mind, no negativity. They are prepping Shri Krishna, and I want you to visualize it. Don't just hear me say it. Interpret it. Picture it in your mind, a beautiful baby Krishna. He's ready to go off on this journey to Barsana. There's a bullock cart full with gifts that Nanda Baba has prepared. Pots of butter, baskets of fresh fruit, sweets wrapped. And the cart is approaching Barsana. Children are running along saying, Nanda Gopal is here, Nanda Gopal is here, Shri Krishna is here. They're celebrating in a sense. And inside the home of Vishravanu, Radha's cradle is gently rocking. Nanda slowly and playfully lifts Shri Krishna into his arms, and enters the home of where Radha is. And as soon as Shri Krishna's tiny feet cross that threshold, a small jingle happened, something miraculous happened. You see a smile cracked on the face of Radha. Radha smiles. Remember the last time I told you about the smile of one who knows with Markande? Radha smiles beautifully. Her mother is watching. She says, oh my. Radha had a still face, eyes closed, a little smile. Even when we see babies have a niece, when you see her get a little smile, you rejoice, oh gosh, I do something. You smile. Little smile. Her mother's confused. She said, but why is she smiling now? But Radha's smile was not the smile of any meeting of the first time between her and Krishna. It was a smile of recognition. It was feeling Bhagwan's presence close, the way a river meets an ocean. Flowing. Do we feel the same when we come into God's presence? When we come into the mandir, are we sour? Are we angry? Are we say, I have to be here this morning? Or do we smile to Bhagwan? Do we watch the Murtis and do we see that smile back? You mean it's not like losing it, but I believe so, When I watch Ma and I see her give me that smile, I know Bhagwan's presence is with me. And this was not just the start of anything between Radha and Krishna. It was a continuation of one life to another. Shri Krishna's anklets jingled in the room. Nanda Baba enters with him, placing Krishna down right next to Radha. And in that instant and in that moment, Radha opens her eyes. Just imagine. The first thing when she opens her eyes, she sees Krishna. Imagine you wake up in the morning, the first thing you see is Bhagavan. You'll be shocked, right? Scared? Or you would say, all my efforts, all my puja, all my prayer, all my mantras was finally fulfilled. Her mother, Vishravanu, they are shocked to see Radha opens her eyes. And some meetings in life, they can teach us something. They can be a blessing or a lesson. Radha is meeting Krishna. They didn't exchange any words. They just exchanged a glance. Her eyes open. He's there smiling, she's there smiling. But that eternal love, that eternal bond is starting at this moment. And just as Radha would not open her eyes without Krishna, our hearts remain closed until the name of God is there as well. Braj is filling with celebration and laughter. The villagers are happy now. They're celebrating. Oh my, Radha has finally opened her eyes. The cows have came. Their bells are ringing. Children are playing all throughout the courtyards. Women are singing folk songs in celebration. Their hearts become one, and a meeting emerges of love between a divine connection. Do we all have a divine connection? And that's my theme of this morning. Is, do you have a divine connection with Bhagwan? Are you able to feel Bhagwan's presence, whether you enter the mandir, whether you are at home, whether you light your diya, whether you wake up in the morning and say, Bhagwan, thank you? Do you feel Bhagwan's presence? And if you don't, it's okay. We will work on it. That's what temples are for, that's what mandirs are for, that's what mantras are for. To feel and have a connection with Bhagwan. And as Radha and Krishna grew older, the divine mischief happens in Vrindavan. You know, Krishna was very mischievous. He would love to go and play with the pots of butter. He would love to stick his whole hand in and take out and eat. He would do many playful things. He would always love to go and smear butter all over his face. You know, he would eat with him out. But being so mischievous, he would do all these things. And Radha once asked him, she says, oh Shyam, again, why are you doing this? Don't you have enough butter at home? And Krishna is licking his fingers so innocently. He says, I do, but yours tastes better. Isn't that Gyan? Maha Gyan. He says, I have butter at home. Yashoda Mata makes. But he comes to our house and he puts his hand in and he says, but yours tastes so sweet. And what does she do? She smiles. And he leans in even closer and he whispers to her, he says, maybe because you made it with love. Radha blushes. True innocent love, true innocent bhakti, devotion between one another. That's the eternal bond, you know. I can't go into depth, so I'm doing piece by piece to get to my main point. But that's one instance of the butter. They had another instance together, which Krishna and Radha as children. She spent the morning weaving a beautiful garland. Soft jasmine, beautiful hibiscus flowers, sacred tulsi. She's tying each knot and saying a prayer. When we make malas, do we tie in mala and say, oh gosh, I think it's the Baba? Or we tie it with love, and in each knot we make, we say, Hari Govinda. Radha is making this mala with love in her heart. When Krishna arrives there, she gently places it around his neck. But moments later, Krishna is mischievous as we have. He's running after the peacocks, chasing them, playing with them. The garland tore and the petals burst. You see, sometimes when I sit here too, petals be all over my eye, and I just sit in here. Radha picks up the pieces of flowers like broken dreams in her hand. And she says to him, she looks at Shri Krishna and she says, you couldn't have even kept it for a moment. Shri Krishna struggfully played. You know, Krishna was very playful. He said, but why does it matter? You'll make one anyway. Sounds a bit arrogant, no? He said, but why does it matter? You'll make one for me anyway. And she looks at him. She says, okay, Krishna, so be it. That same evening, Krishna again, he sits under the moonlight of the Kadamba tree. He's playing his flute. The notes are rippling over the Yamuna. The secret calling that only one can hear. And while Radha was in the middle of churning butter, when she heard the melody, she froze. She heard the Basuri, she froze. Her hands paused, she had to catch her breath. She says to him later on, she says, you were playing your bansuri, and I'm hearing your sweet notes, but you never asked me if I wanted to come by the kadamba tree. You left me churning butter, how come you didn't ask me if you want me to come? And Shri Krishna laughed and he says, but you will come anyway. And so he's teasing her, they're playfully teasing one day, not arrogance, he's playfully teasing her. So she says, and she looks away, she says, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. She's doing so much devotion to Shri Krishna. Days passed, and one afternoon, after heavy rainfall, Radha decides that she wants to do some devotion to Shri Krishna, as we all would. She paints a kalsa, clay pot, under a neem tree, red and yellow, beautifully painted, with tulsi leaves, and she writes the name Shyam lovingly across the curve. And it wasn't just a decoration, it was made out of pure devotion. It was her quiet way of showing that she cared, even when he wasn't seeming to notice. He would tease for butter, he would not take care of the garden, he would play his bansuri and forget her, but she's still devoted. Don't sometimes we feel like God forgets us? Sometimes we may feel that Bhagavan forgets us. But Radha doesn't stop her devotion. She doesn't say, oh gosh, I'll leave Krishna. Let he do what he wants to do. She continuously devotes herself. So after making this clay pot and making it beautifully, she decided that she's going to rest it under the tree. And when Krishna comes back from playing, she'll give it to him. Krishna is playing nearby and he's running around and he's playing with all the other gopas. And when he wasn't thinking, a ball ended up rolling and breaking the pot. It crushed the pot crack. And Radha turned to him just in time. She looked at him and she says, as it broke into shards, she says, you break everything. You break my patience, you break my peace, you break my garlands, and now this. All the offerings I've been doing to you, all the playfulness, all the devotion, and now you come in my last hope of gifting something to you, you break it. And this is the one time we hear of Krishna's smile fading. But one smile never really fades, Krishna's smile fades. He turns into a frown, he gets sad. Radha's eyes are filled, not just with hurt, but she's filling with wounds, tears that would create a storm, as it says. She turned away and she is upset. Krishna doesn't know what to do. He's sad, he's dejected. He says, oh my, I made a great mistake. That evening, Radha didn't bother to come to Yamuna. She didn't end up braiding her hair with flowers as she usually would. She didn't even answer him when he played his flute. All of Vrindavan felt different. All of Vrindavan felt sad, it felt grey. There was no life anymore. All the colors has felt like it has dulled. And Krishna sat alone under the kadamba tree. He's twirling a blade of grass in his hand and he whispers into the melody, into the breeze. He says, Radha is my melody and I am just the flute. Without her I make no sound. Hey, beautiful words, my friend. Do we speak of our loved ones like this? Do we speak in our relationships like this? He is saying that Radha, you are my everything. And I'm truly disappointed. And I want to remind you, my devotees, Bhagavan thinks the same of you, When you are feeling dejected, when you are feeling sad, when you are feeling hurt, when you are feeling down, there's a Bhagavan who's listening to you. There's a Bhagavan who feels your hurt as well. Shri Krishna, I say it most of the time, in the first chapter of Gita, he doesn't say anything. What does he do? He doesn't just start up and say, well, I am God, and I am Krishna, and I am this and that. No. He listens to Arjuna. He listens to the plight of his devotees. He feels. And so too, he's feeling the hurt in Radha. He says, I made a grave mistake. I was not appreciating her how I should have. That evening, Radha returned. Krishna was waiting for her, not with mischief anymore, not with laughter, but he was waiting there with humility. Imagine that, Bhagavan being waiting on his devotee with humility. And he held something behind his back. It was a new clay pot. Shaped very clumsily. He didn't really make it well. It was put together. But it was painted, not so well neither. The word they use is painted carefully, but it was painted with all out. Tulsi leaves was put where it could be placed. And at this time, instead of it saying just Shyam across it, it said Shyam Radhe. Shyam Radhe. And he steps forward and he says to Radha, he says, I don't always understand what hurts you, or Radha, but I feel it when you're gone. I realize that your silence is louder than any scolding that I could have achieved. Just imagine your Bhagavan feels the same way about you. He doesn't know why sometimes he isn't offered bread. He doesn't know why sometimes he isn't offered a fruit. But he's feeling a pain. And that's Bhagavan speaking to his devotees. I'm feeling that something's missing there. Your silence is even louder than any words you could have told me, Radha. And he held up the pot out with both hands. And he says, I don't want to be the reason things break anymore. Radha looked at the pot. And then she looked at him. She slowly took it into her heart. Not because it was perfect, but because Shri Krishna listened. She smiled and she says to him, next time, please don't wait till something breaks to feel. Shri Krishna is there. He's feeling a little overwhelmed now. He says, but I gave Radha the pot. I am doing what is right in a sense, but I'm feeling that something still is missing. And he says to Radha, he says, you are my true devotee. And when a devotee of mine like you continuously gives me love, I will forever reciprocate. And that's the message of Krishna. That's the message of God in your own life. When you give with Bhagavan, the Puranic rule is when you give, Bhagavan must give back. It reciprocates. So don't feel that anything is being done in vain, my devotees. Don't feel that I'm just offering the Katha, or I'm just offering the Chandan, or I'm just offering the Arti. When you do it, as we started, we said, when you do it with a pure mind and a loving heart, just as Radha would have done all her offerings, Shri Krishna says to her, being my devotee, I will never do wrong again. I will forever uphold that once you devote yourself to me, I will devote myself back to you. Just imagine Bhagavan telling you that. Bhagavan is saying that I'm devoting myself back to you. This leela teaches us something. Not just about childhood mischief, but how true love and devotion can mature. We all have in our own lives people who give us gifts of love, who will give up pots and who give us garlands. And sometimes they will even give us silence. And what do we need to take away from this? Is don't step on them like Krishna did. Understand that things are given and love is reciprocated. And if we do, just as Shri Krishna did, if we apologize, if we do it genuinely and humbly, just as God did, we are able to right our own wrongs. Real love, my dear devotees, isn't just about having perfection. Their relationship wasn't perfect, If you notice that with all the leelas and most devatas, they were never perfect. Sita and Ram and Vanvas, Radha Krishna, it was never about perfection, but what it was truly about understanding, and love. And if we can do that in our own lives, we can achieve godliness. Sometimes, my dear devotees, we see it in this leela that even Bhagwan has to apologize. Bhagwan has to apologize not because he is wrong, but because he values her, or he values his devotee, or he values love more than being right. And that's my message for you this morning. Continue on to your week, continue on to your days, that understanding that sometimes life is not about being right. It's not about admitting to being wrong, but it's about loving more, either right or wrong. And just like Radha, we too must all learn forgiveness. Not because people are flawless, not because people can't do right or wrong. That sometimes with broken hearts, being misunderstood, we must be able to forgive. Radha is that form of Bhakti Devi in herself. She's the true form and the personified form of utter devotion. And when we celebrate Shri Krishna, we must always do what Radha does. We must keep him in every thought. Do we keep Bhagwan in every thought of ours? Do we think about Bhagwan whenever we are going to make a new step in our life? Or do we do it first and then say that we ask God after? Or do we pray first and ask for his blessings? Do what Radha did, love Bhagwan without conditions. It was never conditional love. She loved him in spite of. And just as she saw godliness in him, Krishna sees godliness in his devotees. See godliness in every person that you meet. If you can do that, if you can see God in everyone you meet, your relationships, my dear friends, will be 10 times better. Radha did not need to see miracles. All she needed, as we started, was just to have a glimpse of God. Just to be able to open her eyes and feel and see the presence of God. She was able to feel that darshan. In conclusion, today we not just only celebrate the stories of Krishna, we walk them. We see that love isn't always only loud. Sometimes a smile after a storm, sometimes a broken pot and an apology. Sometimes it's choosing to forgive. And not just because the other person is perfect or wrong, but because that you all must see that love is more important than all else. Love prevails. The 4 words I always like to say, and I always repeat it over and over, to have into your own life, Satya, Dharam, Shanti, Prem. And it sounds repetitive, as you hear pundits say it all the time, but just as there's speed limits on the highway every quarter mile, to remind you, go 50, go 50. We must remind you all to have Satya. Be truthful. Be truthful not just in your own life to others, but be truthful to yourself. Dharma, be righteous. Shanti, be peaceful. Prem, have love. And these are the teachings of Shri Krishna. These are the aspects that Radha and Krishna exemplified. Vrindavan Bihari Radha Ki. Before we join Arti, join Havan. Let us join Havan, Arti, and close in prayer. Om Arumata Aruta Sandal Gotra Papaknam Shri Agni Devata Stapyasana Vinyogaha. Om Shri. You can all say Swaha together as we conference Agni Devata. Om Shri Agni Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Om Shri Gauri Devi Namaha Swaha. Om Shri Gaura Parvatye Namaha Swaha. Om Shri Guru Devataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Guruve Namah Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Shri Ranganamaya Namah Swaha. Om Shri Krishnaya Namah Swaha. Om Aham Hanumate Namah Swaha. Om Panchmukhi Hanuman Devataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Vigneshwaraya Namah Swaha. Om Vakratundaya Humpat Swaha. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namah Swaha. Om Shri Mani Harnigarbhyam Namah Swaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyay Namah Swaha. Om Shri Lakshmi Namah Swaha. Om Shri Dhanakshmi Namah Swaha. Om Veer Lakshmi Namah Swaha. Om Dhumdragaya Namah Swaha. Om Indraya Namah Swaha. Om Adityaya Namah Swaha. Om Suryaya Namah Swaha. Om Somaya Namah Swaha. Om Chandramase Namah Swaha. Om Mangal Devataye Namah Swaha. Om Bhaskaraya Namah Swaha. Om Buddhaya Namah Swaha. Om Bhaumaya Namah Swaha. Om Shukraya Namah Swaha. Om Sharishtaraya Namah Swaha. Om Rahave Namah Swaha. Om Shri Ketave Namah Swaha. Om Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namah Swaha. Om Sarvadevi Sarvdevatabhyo Namah Swaha. Om Ayam Hrim Klim Chamriche Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Shvam Shvam Kuru Kuru Shivaya Om Swaha. Om Hum Jum Saha Om Trayambakam Yajamahi Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Uravarukameva Vandana Mrityur Mokshamamritat Saha Hum Jum Swaha. Om Rimmutkaya Apvarnaya Kutkaya Shvaya Swaha. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsavituravaranyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha. Pramgayatridam Namah. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsavituravaranyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha. Pramgayatridam Namah. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsavituravaranyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha. Pramgayatridam Namah. All ancestors, Om Anadi Nirnodeva Shankha Chakradra Akshare Kundrikaksha Pitra Moksha Pradobhava Mata Kulpityurma Swadha Prada Kulpityurma Swadha. Same Swadha. Om Guru Kulpityurma Swadha. Rishi Kulpityurma Swadha. Sarv Kulpityurma Swadha. We all stand for devotee. We make offerings of me. Om Purnamidam Purnamidat Purnat Purnudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarve Purnavam Swaha. Om Sarve Purnavam Swaha. Om Sarve Purnavam Swaha. Vishachan Zuvagni Pasuvaya. Om Papo Ham Papkramam Papa Atma Papa Samva Rahimam Mudrika Shasram Papa Haro Hari Sri Akshmanyam Samarapayami. Vanaspati Rashorutam Gandayo Gandavatam Agya Sarvevanam Lupoyam Pratigrihitam. Arti. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Bhakt Janon ke Sangat Daas Janon ke Sangat Shad mein dur kare. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami morning may be forgiven. If we're doing what is right, may be blessed. I close by saying, Tantra mantra puja nahi janu, main to kevat ma koi manu. O Lord, I may not know any mantra, I may not know any tantra, I may not know any yantra, I may not even know how to say Om, but what I do know how is to love. Prabhu ji, daya karo. Sitaram. May you all have a wonderful rest of your week. May you see you all again Sunday morning as service continues. Om Tat Sat.
Sitaram Devotees, and on behalf of Radha Krishna Mandir, we say a warm welcome to each and everyone.